when they were in the garden, they were naked. And we need to understand this nakedness in the context of this image of the mountain. Keep this image of the one and the many. Just keep that image in your mind, because I'm going to keep coming back to it all the time. In the garden, they were naked. They didn't need anything from the outside. They had everything they needed within that communion with God. Right? They didn't need to add something from the outside, to build something from the outside. They just all they needed was the communion. And as soon as they fall, then this nakedness, the church fathers talk about how this nakedness was actually, they were clothed in glory. It wasn't that it was naked the way we think of it, but it was rather that they didn't need external thing. They were emanating light. You can imagine it that way. They were emanating glory. They didn't need to cover themselves. As soon as they fall, then they become ashamed. Right? They look up, they understand that God is there, and all of a sudden they feel like they have to hide themselves from God. So what do? They take leaves and they try to cover themselves. That is the very first human act in the sense of the first human making. The first things the human made was clothing. First human art. Let's talk about it that way, so you'll see where I'm going right away. The first human art is clothing. As you're moving down from the mountain, so imagine now again, the sun above the world, the sun is shining down, right? And at some point, the sun becomes a threat to you. Just like for them, God actually became to them, in their perception, God became a threat to them. And so they wanted to cover themselves. They wanted some shade from something that was above them. And that is what art is. When you cover yourself, you're hiding yourself from the higher things. It becomes a veil. Okay? It becomes a separation. The veils in the temple, the veils in the tabernacle, it was all about that. It was all about hiding, protecting ourselves from the glory of God, but also protecting the glory of God from being desecrated from the outside. Okay? So that's the clothing. And then as they fall, God gives them garments of skin. And the garments of skin are the best image to understand this clothing, to understand this addition to our nature, this adding that we put on top. Because the garments of skin are made of dead animals. They're made of death. Oh, and medicine is the same, by the way. And medicine is exactly the same structure. It's a human activity which uses death to put death away. Because all medicine is poison. Right? All the medicine, it's all poison. It's all something that can kill you. We use something that can kill you in order to stop something that's killing you. So we play this game, and we have to be careful.